3 AI coding agents. 1 prompt, same code base, same second. And when they finished, all 3 passed every requirement I gave them. I checked with actual measurements, not vibes, and one of them was still wrong. Not wrong in a way you'd catch in a screenshot or in the diff or by clicking around for 5 minutes. I had to go measure it. Here's the whole thing. The thing running this race is called Orca. It calls itself an ADE, an Agent Development Environment, and the pitch is one line. Fan a single prompt out across multiple coding agents, each in its own isolated Git worktree. Then compare the results and merge the winner. It's MIT licensed. It's from a Y Combinator company called Stably, and it has 36,000 stars. It picked up about 130 of those in the few hours it took me to make this video, which tells you something on its own. It also has 1,390 open issues and 1,584 open pull requests. Hold those numbers, we'll come back to them. I'm on Windows, which matters, because most tools in this category are Mac first and quietly broken everywhere else. The Windows installer is 190 megabytes. It's signed properly by the SignPath Foundation, which is the authority that signs open source projects, and a silent install took 46 seconds. No account, no sign-up wall. It opens straight to add a project to get started. Here's the thing, almost every Orca review skips. It ships a command line interface, 220 commands, and there's a command whose entire job is to print the machine-readable schema of all the other commands, so an agent can drive it, which means everything you're about to watch me do in the interface, I could also do from a shell script. I did both. The whole design rests on Git worktrees, not branches. You keep switching between separate folders on disk, each checked out to its own branch, all backed by one repository. So 3 agents can edit the same file at the same time and never see each other. No merge conflicts, because they aren't sharing a working directory at all. For the race, I built a small habit tracker. No framework, no build step. 3 files and every single color hard-coded as a hex value in the style sheet. The README even lists no dark mode as a known gap. The task, add dark mode, a toggle in the top bar. The choice has to survive a reload, and on first load it has to follow the operating system's preference, and the light theme has to look exactly the way it looks right now. That last constraint is the trap. It's easy to add dark mode. It's harder to add dark mode without touching what's already there. 3 lanes, Opus, Sonnet, Haiku, same prompt, same repo, same moment, 1 subscription. Orca created 3 worktrees, 3 branches and 3 terminals in 40 seconds, and then all 3 started typing at once. Now, something happened here that I have not seen a single other Orca review mention, and I want to be very clear about it because it's the difference between a cool demo and a bad afternoon. When Orca launches an agent for you, it launches it with the safety rails off. This is the actual command it ran. Dangerously skip permissions. And when I tried the same thing with Codex, its banner came up reading, and I quote, permissions YOLO mode. Claude Code refuses to go quietly. It throws up a warning screen and it defaults to no exit. So the lane just sits there until a human answers. Codex accepted its own flag silently and started working. The worktree isolates the files. It does not isolate your machine. Claude Code's own warning says that mode is for a sandbox container or virtual machine. So great feature, run it in a sandbox and know that fire 5 agents and walk away has an asterisk on it. This is what I actually came for. 3 agents, 3 isolated checkouts, 1 window. The sidebar shows you what each one is thinking, how long it's been going, and the model it's on. And that bar along the bottom is Orca's own quota meter, which becomes relevant in about 90 seconds. Opus finished in 2 minutes 41. It rewrote the style sheet onto CSS custom properties, and then it did something the other 2 didn't. It created a new file, theme.js, and loaded it as a blocking script in the head with a comment explaining that this sets the theme before first paint, so there's no flash of the wrong theme. It swapped the moon and sun icon in CSS rather than JavaScript, so the icon can't flash either. It wrapped every local storage call in try-catch to match the style already in the file. And it rewrote the README, 208 lines added. The most thorough of the 3 and the most expensive. Sonnet was fastest, 1 minute 47 of API time. Same architecture, but it refused to add a file. It put the blocking script inline in the head and appended the toggle wiring to the existing app.js. 137 lines, 3 files, nothing missing, nothing extra. If you ask me which diff I'd rather review on a Friday afternoon, it's this one. and then Haiku, which is the cheap, fast one, and which took the longest, 3.5 minutes, because it did something neither of the other two did. It opened a real browser, it launched Playwright, loaded the page, screenshotted the light theme, the dark theme, and the state after a reload, checked them, deleted its own test files, and committed the result with a proper commit message. The cheapest model was the only one that actually went and looked. So all three worked. Here's the proof. I measured the background color of every one in light mode and with the operating system set to dark. All three match the original light theme. Exactly. All three go dark, all three remember every requirement passed except Haiku put its theme code in app.js and app.js loads at the bottom of the page. Opus and Sonnet both put theirs in a blocking script in the head, specifically so the theme lands before the browser paints anything. So I measured it, and I'll be honest, my first attempt was junk. I was polling from outside the browser and it gave me a different answer every run. So I rebuilt it to record inside the page itself on every single animation frame. So nothing depends on my script's timing. 10 loads each. Opus never paints the light theme. Not once. Sonnet never. Haiku it does on roughly 1 load in 5 for about 80 to 100 milliseconds. And notice what kind of bug that is. It's a race. It doesn't happen every time. Which means you can click around Haiku's version all afternoon, never see it, ship it, and then someone on a slow phone gets a white flash every single morning. Opus and Sonnet made that impossible by construction, with a blocking script in the head that runs before the browser paints anything. Haiku left it to chance. That is the difference between passing the requirements and doing the job. So now you compare them and merge the winner. That's the pitch on the front page, word for word. Here's what I actually got. Every lane has its own source control panel. Click a lane, see its diff, click the next one, see that one. Switching is instant, and honestly, for picking a winner, that was enough. I read all three in about 2 minutes. What I could not find is a combined view. One screen, all 3 lanes, checkboxes to take this piece from Opus and that piece from Sonnet. I checked all 4 side panels, the right-click menu and the shortcuts. On Windows, it isn't there. The pull request panel hints at why this repository provider does not support creating a pull request from Orca. The merge story seems to want a real GitHub remote, which my throwaway repo doesn't have, comparing easy cherry picking across agents, not the way I rate that sentence. Let's talk about the bill, because this is the part the marketing doesn't cover. Opus, $1.32, Sonnet, 91 cents, Haiku, 39 cents, $2.62 for one prompt on a task that adds dark mode to a 3-file web page. Running agents in parallel doesn't just multiply your speed, it multiplies your quota. Exactly as many times as you have lanes, Orca is honest about it. That meter in the status bar is counting. But if you're on a plan with limits rather than a cart, 3 lanes is 3 times the burn. One more number, because it corrected something I believed going in, from firing the prompt to the last lane going idle. 5 minutes 14. Add up the 3 agents, API time, and you get 7 minutes, 57. So yes, faster than doing them one after another, but not 3 times faster, because parallel is only ever as fast as your slowest lane. And my slowest lane was the cheap model that decided to go open a browser. You don't get 3 times the speed, you get 3 answers. What's genuinely good worktree isolation works. 3 agents in 1 file, 0 conflicts. The Windows build is real, signed, 46-second install, no account required, 220 commands on the command line with a schema endpoint so agents can drive it. Bring your own subscription, so no second bill and no login. Across 30 plus agents, quota metering built into the status bar, and it's MIT licensed and they ship daily. And what isn't? It launches agents with the safety rails off by default, 1400 open issues and 1600 open pull requests, because daily shipping cuts both ways. About 650 megabytes resident when idle across 4 processes, and its own status bar admits 800. The mobile emulator is iOS simulator only, so there's nothing for it on Windows. Merge. The winner is really read 3 diffs. The command line isn't added to your path. It's buried in a resources folder. Its own computer use can't read its own interface. And 3 lanes is 3 times your quota, with nothing warning you before you fire. If you run 1 agent at a time and read every diff before you accept it, Orca is overhead you don't need. You already have a terminal. If you've ever written a tmock script to babysit 3 agents at once, or you've caught yourself wishing you could ask 2 models the same question and diff the answers, This is that build properly for free. Just run it somewhere you don't mind an agent having root. Repos in the description. It's MIT. It costs nothing to try. The habit tracker and every measurement in this video are up there too, so you can run the same race yourself and see whether your models disagree the way mine did. And if you take one thing from this, the agent that passed every requirement and the agent that got it right were not the same agent. Check the work.